We attempted to negotiate, but Galactus... he asked too high a price.
Well, what does he want?
What did he ask?
He asked for our child.
But kidnapping children? I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four. First Steps.
It's too fantastical.
The year is 2005. The iPhone doesn't exist yet. The Office has only just gotten started, and YouTube's only existed for 5 months. And while one Reed Richards was busy torturing an innocent beet farmer, another was introduced to the world. 2005's Fantastic Four. Marvel's first attempt at capturing the first family on the big screen, not counting the unreleased film from 1994, was released a few years before Iron Man and the Dark Knight would change superhero media forever. And yet it managed to be far more competent than most give it credit for, mostly due to its pitch-perfect cast. Ioan Gruffudd, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, and of course Chris Evans, starring in probably the only superhero film he'd ever be known for. Shame his career never took off after this. Seriously though, he might make an even better Johnny than he does Cap.
Oh, you're hot.
Why, thank you, so are you.
But despite the film's flaws, something was missing. In the early years of Marvel, the studios were afraid to really embrace the comics, and it shows. Rather than a Latvian ruler, Doom becomes an evil businessman in what is essentially a direct knockoff of Norman Osborn from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Although it's worth noting that despite the mishandling of the character, Julian Mahone still manages to deliver an outstanding performance. In the sequel, this disconnect became even worse. Rather than being voyagers to the stars, the Fantastic Four stay in one of Fox's famous forests. Seriously though, why is Fox so obsessed with forests? And battle a Galactus that strips away Kirby's iconic art, turning him into nothing more than a space cloud. And while the duo of Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne played the Silver Surfer to near perfection, it still wasn't enough to capture the true magic of its comic book roots. And so, the studios decided to try again. And Fan4stick was born.
Say that again?
Fan4stick decided to take another approach, and yes, I will be calling it Fan4stick for the remainder of this video. It took inspiration from films like Man of Steel and The Dark Knight, trying to show a grittier, more realistic side to the first family, while also leaning in on the director Josh Trank's horror roots, such as the Fantastic Film Chronicle. And again, the cast was solid, the production design was great, and the choice of Josh Trank as director was seemingly inspired, even if the studios didn't actually let him make the film he wanted, which is unfortunate. But in the end, the film still missed the point. It turned the Thing into a government weapon, made Dr. Doom into whatever the heck that was, and it still lacked that feeling of scope or awe that the comics inspired. But then, in 2019, something happened. Disney acquired 20th Century Fox. A very short time later, it was announced that the Fantastic Four would be coming to the MCU at last, and while everyone rejoiced, they were all asking the same question. Both previous movies had good concepts, great casts, and the Galactus storyline had already been done. So how was Marvel going to fix their first family? As it turns out, they didn't have to. Instead, they fixed the world around them.
Surfing onto the silver screen in brilliant Fantastivision.
Setting is a tricky thing in storytelling. In some stories and genres, it's virtually meaningless. In others, like fantasy and sci-fi, the setting is often the most important thing. For instance, the Avengers work well everywhere. Put them in New York, or Sokovia, or Wakanda, or outer space, it still works. Yet if you tried to remove Batman from Gotham, or Daredevil from Hell's Kitchen, or Aragorn from Middle-earth, it wouldn't work at least nearly as well, because for them, the setting is a part of them. Often in cases like this, the way in which the setting is handled can make or break the story. Get it wrong and you're left with a film like Fan4stick, but get it right and you've got something like The Batman or Loki Season 2. And man, did Fantastic Four First Steps get that setting right. Director Matt Shakman from WandaVision fame, who likes to make his actresses compete in extreme limbo competitions apparently, and the entire cast and crew set out with one goal above all else, to create a world specifically built for the Fantastic Four. And so, like all great creators, they asked themselves, what kind of world do they need? And to know the world, you must first know the characters. The Fantastic Four are explorers first and foremost, even more so than they are heroes. They blend technology with science fiction, and their villains aren't the new age that we've been accustomed to seeing. While villains like the Joker, Riddler, Lex Luthor keep growing darker to fit into the modern age, becoming anarchists, serial killers, or demented tech bros who have an unhealthy obsession with Battleship. The Fantastic Four face characters like the Red Ghost and the Mole Man, who are nothing if not shining beacons of the comic book villains that swept through the Golden Age. Mole Man's literal goal is to bury a skyscraper into the earth because he's offended that humanity built it over his empire. Which honestly, now that I say it out loud, is one of the best villain motivations of all time. But more than all of that, the Fantastic Four are sincere. I heard someone say once that Hollywood films are losing their sincerity. And while I don't know that that's entirely true, I do think it makes an interesting point. With the success of The Dark Knight, there came a movement of dark, unnecessarily gritty stories. And then, with the success of Deadpool, it went the other way. Characters making light of their situations even when it wasn't called for, or when it didn't fit the characters themselves. But the Fantastic Four are not Batman, or Deadpool, and thankfully First Steps knows this. They're a family trying to give hope to a world. And knowing all of this, First Steps was able to finally give them that world. The world that we didn't get in 2005, or in 2015. Taking inspiration from the Jetsons, and full advantage of Marvel's multiverse, they dropped the Fantastic Four into a retro-futuristic setting, a place where not only would Herbie not feel out of place, he would feel right at home. A place without the history of the MCU, without the Sokovia Accords or Thanos, where the villains are allowed to be that cartoonish brand of evil, and it works. Everything from the set design, like chalkboards stretched out like Reed Richards himself, to the costumes that are basically fancy pajamas, it all works to serve that one singular purpose. This is a sincere, hopeful world. Like with Captain America the First Avenger, it's what we like to imagine the past was, a bright time of innovation and heroism, without all the real-world trials and mistakes. A world that we would care about and want to hold on to. I think that is the lesson to take away from First Steps. If you're creating a story, whether a novel, a film, a television series, or even a story of your own life, pay attention to the setting. Not just the ground and the buildings and the air, but all of it. People, animals, technology, even the worldviews those within it share. And make sure that it's the right setting for the story you're looking to tell. Gandalf would be just as lost in Blade Runner's Los Angeles as Rick Deckard would be in Middle-earth, and that's okay. Not every setting is meant for every character. While I always loved the 2005 film and its cast, I think that First Steps really showcased the Fantastic Four film that we've been missing all these years. From the space exploration, to the Silver Surfer literally surfing on a black hole, to the family at the heart of it all, First Steps managed to bring back that feeling of watching Fantastic Four cartoons back in the day, but with the scope and emotional weight of the big screen. Because when setting, plot, and characters combine with passionate storytelling, you get something special. And at the risk of summoning the undead spirit of Miles Teller into my home, you get something that is, dare I say, fantastic.
Say that again?
What time is it, Ben?
No.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
Hey everyone, Chad Nicholas here. I just want to say thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, then leave a like and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. I've been really enjoying doing YouTube so far. I've got a new microphone now, and that first Superman video I did was my most watched video ever, so I just want to say thanks to everyone who watched it and supported me. On the author front, yes, it's self-promotion time. If you enjoy stories with a setting that is built around the characters, I'd recommend checking out my novel, The Animal. It's a slasher story that's a lot of fun, and the small-town forest setting is really integral to the story. And I've got a new book announcement coming soon, so watch out for that. Until then, stay fantastic, my friends.
How's your day going?